In this video, I'm going to talk about changing different color areas of the photo. So for example, if your subject has some redness in certain areas of their skin, you can also use this for whitening teeth if they look a little bit yellowish. So what we're going to do is first thing, we're going to make sure that we're on the top layer in our layer window. If you have multiple layers, it's really important that you make sure that you're on the top layer when you start this. And then you're going to go to your adjustments. So if your adjustments isn't already open, you can go to Window at the top and choose Adjustments. You can choose any of the adjustments that deal with color, and you can kind of just scroll through them and see. Like vibrance will deal with color, hue saturation, color balance, photo filter, color lookup a little bit, and selective color. The one I like to use is color balance, so that's how we're going to do it. So when you choose color balance and properties, this window is going to open. One thing you may not notice at the top here where it says tone, you have to choose whether you're changing a shadow, a midtone, or a highlight. So midtone is like the middle areas like here, okay, so it's not a light or a dark. If I do a shadow, it's going to be the darkest part, so like in here, and then highlights will be the lightest parts, so here and here. For this particular area, it's probably midtones, maybe a little bit of highlights, so I'll start with midtones, and if I need to go to highlights, I'll do that next. Okay, if it is redness in skin, if you look at the three color sliders, you can see red is here and the opposite is cyan. It may also be slightly magenta, so you may have to go towards green. If you're working on teeth and they look yellowish, I would choose the bottom slider and go from yellow to blue. But basically you just need to look at the colors and shift in the direction that's the opposite of what you're trying to fix. Okay, so I'm first going to try the cyan red. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, Command plus. Okay, and that does a pretty good job. I'm going to now fiddle with some of the highlights. It's pretty good. And then maybe the shadows. I'll just try it and see. Okay. Now, I may have made this too strong. We'll see in a second. You're going to see the whole photo changes, right? So if I go down to layers and I turn color balance on and off, so it's changing the whole photo. But I don't want the whole photo to change. I just want to be able to apply it to certain parts. So with it on, I'm going to make sure the little white box is highlighted next to color balance. And I'm going to, on my keyboard, click Command I. Like we learned before, that's going to mask it. So now you see the little thumbnail is black. Next thing, I'm going to choose a brush. So B for brush. And it is this tool over here in the tool window. I'm going to set my settings. So I'm going to choose a brush size and hardness. That works for that area. It's a little bit big. Hardness, I'm probably going to go pretty low because her skin isn't like super sharp, nor do I want it to see a line on the edge of the brush. And I'm going to do opacity and flow at 100 with the mode normal. Okay, now if it's a black brush, to see the edit, I need a white foreground color, sorry. And if it was an opposite mask or if I was making a mistake, I would switch it. These two buttons are your friends for setting your colors here. Okay, so again, I want white in the front. Okay, now I'm going to paint it in. And I'm just painting it where I see the redness. If I make a mistake, like I'm not crazy about that there, I can fix it. And that's why we use a layer mask and a brush. So let me just paint it in and then I will adjust it. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out. So you can see there's some areas where it doesn't look good. So now I'm going to switch to a black brush in front, and I'm going to use that like an eraser. So I don't want it on the forehead, and I want a little too high here. Maybe get rid of it there. Okay, the last thing, if I feel like the edit I did is a little bit too strong, I can fix it. So I can make sure I'm on this layer, and I can take down the opacity or the fill for this layer, and this is in the layer window. Okay, so I can reduce it so it blends in a little bit more. I can also double click this symbol, which will lead me to this properties window if it's not open already, and I can modify it still. So I'll just do it extreme so you can see it. You can see it's still changing and it's just on the areas I painted in. And that is it.